Now, keep in mind, I haven't even heard about the inner child, had no idea what it was, had no idea I even had any wounds, had no idea I had trauma that I needed to take care of because everything was just fine. That's just the way life was. And so again, after I get divorced, I realized something's, yeah, my parents are not quite right. They kind of lied to me. So I started to decompress some of the religious background. I wasn't participating in the religion, but I started to kind of decompress some things and started to find my own little path. And it really started with getting a divorce, honestly, as bad as that is. Not as bad as it is, like, as it was as hard as that is to be able to do what I did. Yeah, to go through that for my parents, that was the best thing I did. And so as I got in, then I became a single mother, and all the trauma that comes that leads, and that's not even wounds or trauma that comes along with that, because you're like, I mean, I had two, I mean, their father was not very, he was not really emotionally there, financially there, but it wasn't. I was pretty much on my own, raising these two children by myself. With the help of with my help of family parents, I'm not saying I did it on my own. I did have a good support system around me at the time.
How old
But
were the
being a single
kids?
mom
How
was,
old were the kids then? They're now 26 and 23.
they were, I think, 9 and 12 or something like,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
along those lines. I'd have to go back. I'd have to like put the calculator. They were young. They were into their almost
yeah,
preteen age.
yeah,
And it was very hard on them for that purpose of it. So that's why I say, like, as hard as it was for everyone, it was the best thing for me at the time. So as I get into that, and I'm raising these two kids pretty much by myself, financially, a little bit of help, but that's about it. All the things that come back, and I'm like, all the stigmatisms for being a single mother. My parents were looking at me like I was worthless because I was a single mother. The shame and the guilt that came in from all of that. From what you get told from society, you're single mom, oh, the poor single mother women. If you're a single mom out there listening, or a single dad out there listening, my heart goes to you, and you are so strong, and you're capable and amazing. I just want to throw that out there and let listeners know that that is probably the hardest job that you'll ever do. And it is, you're doing a good job. Keep it up. Doing the best job you can do, keep it up.
that's me.
But going through all of that really started to build resilience in me, though. And so I would stumble a little bit, but I'd go back up. And so I would go through jobs, go through businesses, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Why do I hate my life? Why am I so miserable? And so I got to, my son was out of the house. My daughter was still in the house. She was probably 15, 16 years old. I had met my current husband now, who was amazing. And we were dating and living in the same house. And it was such turmoil. It was just emotionally draining all the time. Had an event business. I was working 80 hours a week, had no profitability, hoping clients were going to pay me on time so I could fork out another 10 grand the next month. So it's a financial strain, the financial stress of all that, all the emotional stress, still having to raise my daughter pretty much by myself. She's a teenager. Teenage girls are very difficult to. I was one. I get it. They're very emotional. They're very difficult. They're learning to process their emotions, learning to process the world, and they're living in a very tough time to do that. But once I got through, but I hit a point to where I think I was like 35, 36. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And so I literally sat on the floor crying, and I was like, God, I'm done. Either tell me it's okay for me to be done with my life, or tell me it's gonna get better. Obviously, I'm here. So
Yeah.